Okay, so today we're going deep on something a little different.
Yeah.
We're looking at how one professional tackled the demands of a really high-pressure role.
Yeah, high stakes.
And we're using excerpts from a professional interview to get into the nitty-gritty
Cool.
with Claire M., a 39-year-old HR manager
Wow.
in a large French company, over 900 employees, and how Pilates, specifically this Studio Pilates method at Studio Biopilates Paris, really impacted her professional life.
And I think that's what's so interesting is like you think Pilates, you think exercise, you think physical, right?
Right.
You don't always think about the carryover to other aspects of life.
Exactly. So as you listen, think about the benefits she experienced managing stress, improving posture, and really dealing with all the emotions that come with her job.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, every job has its own challenges.
Right.
And I think there are things to be learned from her experience that you can maybe apply to your own life.
Right. So to start things off, let's get a sense of Claire's day-to-day.
Okay.
So as an HR manager in a company with so many people, it's nonstop. It's a lot.
Back-to-back individual consultations and strategic meetings on top of that, training plans, and, of course, sensitive personnel issues all the time.
That's a full plate right there.
The interview said she barely sat for 10 minutes at a time.
Oh, wow.
And her days went from like 8:30 in the morning to past 7 p.m.
That's intense. I'm exhausted just hearing that.
Me too. And think about the physical toll on top of everything else.
Right. And it's not just the packed schedule. You have to factor in the mental and emotional energy she's expending every day.
Oh, absolutely.
The interview mentions her being a sounding board and, carrying the emotional load for so many colleagues.
Yes.
And that's something we don't always see in HR.
Invisible labor, right?
Exactly. It's demanding. So it makes you think, what are the less obvious emotional demands in your own work?
Or even in your personal life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for Claire, it wasn't just the mental and emotional stress, it was physical too.
No.
She mentioned persistent lower back stiffness.
Oh, I feel that. Pain in her lumbar spine that made even sitting in meetings difficult.
And when you're in pain, it's hard to focus, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't be present.
Yeah, and she talks about this thing she calls her internal alarm.
Uh-huh.
Which is such a perfect way to describe it, like that feeling of constant tension, never getting a break from your schedule.
And I imagine feeling all the emotions of the people she's helping.
Totally. She was absorbing it all, and it just built up until she had this moment after a particularly emotional meeting where she just felt completely disconnected from her body.
Wow. Yeah, I've felt that way before, too.
Have you?
Yeah, like when you're so stressed, your body feels foreign.
Yeah, it's wild. And for her, that was a turning point.
Yeah.
It led to this realization that she needed to reclaim her posture.
Interesting. What does that even mean?
Yeah, and she means it in every sense of the word, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally, too.
I like that. Reclaim your posture.
Yeah, it's powerful.
So how did she go about doing that?
Well, it's interesting, actually, it wasn't entirely her own idea initially. A senior colleague recommended a discovery session at Studio Biopilates Paris.
Okay.
And it was part of an internal wellness initiative at her company.
That's amazing. More companies should do that.
Right. It shows that they're recognizing the link between employee well-being and productivity.
Yeah, for sure.
But Claire's reaction is so relatable. She's like, why not? At worst, it's an hour of breathing.
I've totally been there.
We've all been there,
Right.
right? But then she describes this experience as a bodily awakening.
So it wasn't just an hour of breathing.
No, not at all. She's talking about feeling these deep muscles working in such a precise and controlled way. And the focus on breath alignment concentration. It was a total reset for her.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not about pushing through pain or anything like that. It's a much more internal experience.
I see.
What stands out to you about that?
Well, the idea that precision and control in movement can lead to a feeling of reset is really interesting.
Yeah.
Like it's not what you'd expect.
No. And the immediate impact is pretty remarkable. She leaves that first session feeling spacious in her back, calmer and more grounded.
Wow.
1 hour.
That's incredible.
It is. And clearly it was enough for her to make Pilates a regular thing.
Good for her.
The interview goes on to detail all the changes she observed, starting with that lower back pain, which was her main concern going in.
Yeah. And I bet it wasn't just about pain relief.
You're right. She also saw improvements in her flexibility and posture.
Nice.
The fact that she could sit and breathe easier, and that even after these long days, her shoulders weren't slumped forward.
Yeah, I always catch myself slumping over my keyboard.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's so easy to do,
Yeah.
but it really shows how Pilates was changing her physically.
Re-educating her body.
Exactly. And then there are the mental benefits, which are huge, given her job.
Yeah.
She found herself staying calmer during those stressful interactions and difficult conversations.
That's amazing.
I know. And she credits Pilates with teaching her to breathe differently,
Oh, interesting.
which allowed her to preserve her inner space.
Wow, that's a great way to put it.
Right. Even when she was dealing with other people's heavy emotions, she had this tool to protect herself.
That's so powerful, and I bet a lot of people could use that.
Absolutely. And it shows that Pilates is more than just exercise.
Right, it's a mind-body practice.
Totally. It connects the two. And for Claire, those 2 sessions a week became her recovery ritual.
Smart.
Yeah, it helped her manage her workload without getting overwhelmed.
Instead of reacting to burnout, she was preventing it.
Exactly. And she's become a huge advocate for Pilates, especially for people in similar roles.
Yeah, it makes sense.
She really emphasizes self-care, particularly for those who are constantly caring for others.
Right, because you can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. And she sees Pilates as this holistic solution. It's not just about movement.
I see.
It's about the body, breath, and focused awareness all working together.
It's all connected.
Yeah, and it's about creating space, both physically in the chest and neck and mentally.
Oh, that makes sense.
It helps with clarity and managing those emotions.
Wow, so it sounds like Pilates had a huge impact on her, both personally and professionally.
Yeah, in the end, she felt clearer, more grounded, and more stable as a leader.
And I bet that had a positive ripple effect throughout her whole company.
For sure.
So what'd she say at the end of the interview?
Well, she challenged this idea that we just have to push through stress and accept things like back pain as normal.
So many people live like that.
It's true, but she's saying it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
She feels stronger, more flexible, and better equipped to handle her days.
I love that.
Yeah, and she specifically praised Studio Biopilates Paris for their teaching and attention to detail.
They sound great.
They do. And she also mentioned that she can keep up her practice at home with Biopilates TV and Caroline Berger de Femini's YouTube videos.
Oh, cool. So it's accessible.
Exactly.
So to wrap things up, Claire's story really shows us how addressing physical well-being can have a huge impact on other areas of life.
Yeah, it's not just about the physical benefits.
Exactly. It's about managing stress, improving posture, and building resilience.
And ultimately, it's about feeling better in yourself.
Absolutely. So here's a question for you listening.
Okay.
With all the demands and complexities in your life, could a practice like Pilates that focuses on both your physical and mental alignment help you navigate those challenges?
Yeah, that's a good question.
And what's one small step you can take today to explore that mind-body connection?
I like that.
Food for thought.